So what does it all add up to? Here we had a situation where I've been telling you that 2024, the focus in the first 3-4 months is going to be on the Indian election, the greatest show on the road. And now you're in a situation where we are barely entering February, and a lot of people are saying, why are you even talking about the elections? Elections are over. The elections are a done deal. So are they a done deal or are they not? Let's get to real people who really know what the situation is on the ground. Yashwant Deshmukh of Sea Voters done massive polling, understands what the numbers are throwing up, and Neejat Chaudhary, one of our most veteran political journalists who can really sense the pulse of what is happening. So let's get them both up to ask them that question. Yashwant, you want to go first? I haven't experienced a general election quite like this, where by the first week of February, people are already telling me, why are you even discussing the elections? The elections are over. The elections are a done deal. Nothing can happen that will prevent Narendra Modi from coming back with... And the numbers are the ones that people debate. Is it 300? Is it 350? Is it 400? Some say it could be 270, but that's about it.
Pretty much. At least in my memory that I have been a professional... and in my memory, when I was younger, even not without professional, I guess that the only thing which was kind of looked like a done deal as such was 1984 elections. Prior to that, the election which we would like to think it was a done deal is something which was beyond my memory gambit. That people say that was probably in 1971 and in 1980 to some extent in that way. But done deal was 84. So let me
get Neerja. So you think it is a done deal, Yashwant? You think there's a done deal, or do you think there is still
no,
windows
there
of
will be always an ifs and buts. You see, I honestly speaking, when I say it's a done deal, the numbers say it's the numbers as on today, the markers and the trends. A week is a long time in politics. It's an age-old saying. There could always be a black swan event of sorts and anything can go anywhere. But the conventional wisdom says the numbers, the way we are looking at it, the kind of gap, it's like it's a typical situation, Vikram, where the high of the ruling side and the low of the opposition are both coming at the same time. So the contrast couldn't have been bigger of that sort. So looking at the numbers as on today, it feels like it's a deal. But between now and the election, it's a long time. And, from that perspective, I'm a conservative person. Always a conservative.
Okay, Neerja, let me get you in. I think Yashwant made a very interesting point. The high of the ruling party, perhaps you could call the Ram Mandir, which all of this has happened in the last week, 10 days, right? So Ram Mandir, in a sense, if you can say the high of the ruling party, and the low for the opposition, I've just been listing some of what's been happening, right? Bihar, you've had politician after politician from the opposition being targeted by the agencies. Hemant Soren has been arrested. Who knows, another chief minister could be arrested at some point too. No seat sharing working out. So it's a low for the opposition as well. Is it a done deal? Is 2024 now a done deal? Should we not waste any more time on this election?
Vikram, I'm sitting in Bombay. The question being asked here is not whether the BJP is coming back to power. It is what Mr. Modi is going to do if he comes back to power in his third stint. That is the question that is exercising people here.
No. So you're saying that people are assuming that he is winning. Now the question is, what is he going to do after he's won? Is that what the debate is? Discussion?
That's right. And of course, the numbers do interest people. Will they get a 2/3 majority? Will they just scrape through? They are certainly reconstituting the NDA. They're doing it very systematically. Nitish Kumar is part of that plan. And of course, as we were talking a little earlier, they are not leaving one seat to chance. That is the killer instinct they have always exhibited. And of course, as you have said, the lows of it is the opposition. We started off on a promising note last year, creating INDIA, India Alliance. And it seemed at one point that they would put up one-on-one contests in 400 Lok Sabha seats. That was the talk of last year. But now seems to be totally in disarray. And it's not only because of Nitish Kumar. There doesn't seem to be a plan. Every single satrap is actually trying to see, how can I keep my flock together? How can I survive in order to be able to fight at a later date.
All right, let's just look. I'm not going to get both of you to comment on. There were 4 states that we were discussing earlier also could potentially have been swing states, if you like, in this election. The fact that the BJP was going to sweep North India was always clear. Sweep states like Gujarat was always clear. The opposition would do well in states like Tamil Nadu and Kerala was always clear. Swing states were West Bengal, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka. Let's say those are the 4 swing states, which could have meant 50, 60, 40 seats one way or the other. Yashwant, your assessment on those 4 states, BJP strongly positioned in all of them, or could there be a doubt in 1 or 2 of them?
Well, the last time we were on your show, Vikram, we had pointed out these 4 states and look at the way they have gone meticulously on them. Yeah. First thing that they did was in state of Karnataka, which was the lowest hanging fruit, because all they had to do is to pull in JDS with 10% Vokalika votes, and it's a done deal. In that way, purely the arithmetic part of it, the arithmetic stands as 50% and 40% at this point of time. So Karnataka, they just pressed it out. The second on the command was Bihar. Look at the way how they have gone ahead with that. Funny thing is that if you look into the recent Bihar development and the commentary and the discussion after that, people are cursing Nitish Kumar, but nobody is cursing BJP. Isn't that funny? You know, the discussion at
But hang on, you told me last time we were having this discussion, you said Nitish Kumar is so weak in Bihar that he's going to bring the opposition tally down. Now, doesn't that weakness translate to the other side?
Well, the thing is that it does that, but when you look into the arithmetic of Bihar, the way BJP has approached it, and they are only going to say one thing to all the angry BJP support this, that we did it just to ensure that Modi ji wins. That's it. Okay. You know, and on that point will kind of supersede every other logic. So at this point,
Nija, you said you're in Bombay, Maharashtra. Is the MVA strong there, or is their lead being whittled down? How do you see Maharashtra swinging?
Look, I think after Bihar, the BJP's Maharashtra is really on the BJP's radar next. It's the second largest state in terms of the Lok Sabha seats, 48 of them, and ostensibly, you know, the BJP is in the saddle, unlike in Bihar. The BJP is already split the Shiv Sena, it split the NCP, and we can both. But there was a ground level sympathy for both Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar when I came here 6 months ago. I find that sympathy waning somewhat. In Bombay, of course, it's really clearly very, you know, I would say people say that 6, 7 out of 10 people will go for Narendra Modi.
Okay, let me just try and move on. I'm going to ask you both. Yeah. See, we've all seen, Yashwant was talking about a black swan event. So before we write off, any further discussion on 2024 till after the results are counted and saying why we're wasting time, black swan events, what could be a black swan event? So Yashwant, let me just ask you one question. There is a lot of, obviously, agency pressure and others also coming on the opposition. The arrest of Hemant Soren that is happening, what's happening with the Aam Aadmi Party, pressure coming in other states as well. This could be pressure on the opposition to say, don't fight too much, back down. There will be people who will cross over to the BJP. That is one possible scenario. But is there a risk that could also lead to the opposition saying, look, we've got no choice but to come together and try and fight? Or there could be a sympathy factor for somebody like a Hemant Soren?
I think what is happening is, barring Congress, Vikram, every regional party has come to a situation or an understanding that this Lok Sabha election is not our game. This Lok Sabha election is not our battle. It might be a battle for the Congress. For us, the real thing is the Vidhan Sabha election, and let's focus on that. Somehow, their mindset, the way I look, their reaction and knee-jerk reaction, and the way they are understanding on the ground, that's how they are reacting. From the BJP's perspective, Vikram, let's try to understand the political black swan that has happened in the recent past or in the last 30, 40 years. After 1977, if I may say so, was the 2004 election when nobody expected BJP to lose in that way. And I think 2004 is the movement where the BJP, the RSS and Mr. Modi in particular have learned their lesson. They don't want to leave it to the chances. I think that is what is in their mind, that if we breathe easy, if we become complacent, we just given a smallest possible room for any error. They are just trying to ensure that Mr. Murphy's and his principle, they don't come into the play, that if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. They are just ensuring that everything that can go wrong, we have to tackle here, right now. That's what the sense is. And with that perspective or with that context, Vikram, I would just quickly like to say one line. The difference between 2004 and 24 is 2004's BJP was completely reliant on the alliance partners. 2024 is not that case anymore. 2004 happened because of just two states, that in Tamil Nadu they dumped DMK and picked up AIADMK, and Mr. Chandrababu Naidu of TDP forced them to prepone the election by 6 months. I think these two alliance partnerships or the calculation which faltered, and that's what kind of, went haywire for the NDA and the BJP.
All right, Nirja, let me get you.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, Nirja, let me get you in on that note. The fact that the BJP is not slowing down at all. The interim budget was interesting because it wasn't a political budget at all. So to that extent seemed to signify there is a certain amount of confidence, right? Very high confidence that, nothing is going to happen. We don't need to worry about the election. Election's a done deal. But the ED, the agencies, the pressure which is there on opposition parties, which is continuing, the arrest of Hemant Soren, is it a sign of not leaving anything to chance, or is it something that could potentially backfire in one or two cases?
What could backfire is an overreach by the BJP, as with Hemant Soren being arrested. Now, will that create a measure of sympathy in Jharkhand? That's a very good question you ask. Now, if they go for Lalu Yadav's family, Arvind Kejriwal, Kapil Sibal defending Hemant Soren said they put all the opposition leaders in jail before the elections. Now, that kind of a thing it may not change the outcome very dramatically to say the opposition will suddenly win. No, but it could create a bit of a reaction for people to say, okay, let me also support the opposition. That has to be strengthened. Number two, which is most important, will the opposition show dum? Will they say, Marta kya na karta, in all this adverse situation, let's still come together. Let's not think of our little turfs. Will they still show that kind of thing? So far, they've not. In the last weeks, it's really been in the other direction. Right. Those are the question marks. I don't know. But certainly the people of India would hope that the opposition, the opposition will also get strengthened in this country, whether or not they win in 2024.
Right. Yashwant, last word from you on that particular point. Is this something which could potentially, if the opposition is pushed to the wall to the point where they're completely desperate, two things could happen. Either they could fragment completely, as seems to be happening in the last 1 week, or they may say, what do we have to lose? We all seem to be heading to prison in any case, so let's try and put up some sort of a fight, try and come together, maybe bank on some sort of a sympathy. Is that a potential black swan that unlikely though it sounds, is that something potentially that may need to be have an eye kept on it?
Well, possible, but Vikram, this kind of opposition unity or the forced opposition unity is very different from 75 or 89 opposition unity. That was seen largely by the public as an unjust cause of the force and the jail and the trampling of democracy and all that. While as on today, in Jharkhand, for that matter, barring the core support base of Jharkhand Mukti Morcha, I doubt the anti-JMM or anti-Congress vote is going to say that, oh, this is something wrong that has happened, of sorts. Same is with Bihar. So it's a decentralized action and decentralized reaction at the state level that we need to keep in mind. And probably in this entire thing, after the brilliant book of Nirja, How the Prime Minister Decides, probably there is another idea for the book Nirja, which the word would be very, very learned if you're right, how the opposition leaders decide on what to do and how to go about it. That would be a brilliant book to say, if you write one, because I can sense that that more than anything that has put a question mark on the health of democracy in India is basically the opposition themselves in India at this point of time, how they are behaving and how they are carrying themselves. I think that is a bigger question mark whenever we discuss the health of democracy.
Well, that's actually what I've got up there as a backdrop, saying chaos in the opposition bloc. But that, I mean, you have to almost feel sorry for the opposition, that the fact that everything is coming together at the same time. As you said, a very dominant ruling party, chaos in their own ranks, cases being filed against them. It's certainly a low point, as you were saying, for the opposition. One last quick reaction from either of you. I'm still sort of trying to see whether we should do any further debates on this or not in the next 3 months or not. One further question, which I'm seeing on social media, people asking, especially after Hemant Soren, this entire concept of, Dalit and SCST and the Dalit vote, and could that consolidate in some manner? There's been no sign of it really so far in happening in recent elections. But is that something else that potentially the opposition will could try to pick up on?
Well, I will leave the last word to Nirja, but quickly on the numbers perspective, what I can tell you, Vikram, is that these leaders, including the Dalit and the tribal leaders, do not the capacity of all India presence or all India movement in that way. And largely speaking, the Dalit and the tribal voters have been shifting to BJP's domain because of their Labharti Yojanas and their work on that ground. And it has less to do with any other leadership, be it Mayawati, be it Hemant Soren, or be it anybody else.
Right. Nirja, last word from you that I think,
the Congress party could have played the Dalit card and projected Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, the president, as a prime ministerial candidate on their side. And Mamata Banerjee and Kejriwal suggested that also. But, to do it today, it's too late. You would have to cultivate Mr. Kharge's image. You should have done it over the last year. And I think it would have made a difference. It would have made a difference to the South. It would have made a difference to the Dalits, even though Yashwant is absolutely right. With the social welfare schemes of the BJP, they've reached out massively to the Dalits and the tribals. And so today it's not a Mandir versus Mandal, caste versus religion conundrum that we see in politics. It's Mandir plus Mandal on Modi's side, the 3 M's. So he's played that card very, very well. But the Congress chose not to play the card of the Dalit card because India has never had a Dalit prime minister. It might have, enthused Dalits in many parts of the country. Even though North, it would be difficult. But still, it was the best card the Congress could have played and chose not to play.
Best card the Congress could have played, chose not to play it. Yashwant Deshmukh, Nirja Chaudhary, thank you both for having you. It's always so good to get a clarity on where we're actually heading. And for people around the world who are watching this, that at this present moment seems to be the view in India, and perhaps underlined by the budget. Election seems to be reasonably, as of this moment, a done deal. Opposition is in a certain amount of disarray. The BJP is looking really strong. It's not easy to see in the first week of February what could possibly happen to turn the story around. But who knows, a couple of months to go. Black swan events are always possible. But as of now, that pretty much seems to be the view. And if you think that it's just what journalists and analysts are saying, it's very clear that that same analysis has been done by the government.